Hello, welcome to the second day of our consistent cash scavenger hunt. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, be sure to check the show notes and sign up for that because it's super freaking fun and you can win some cash money if you participate in it and actually implement what I'm sharing with you here. So I am super excited for today's special episode. I'm going to be breaking down so I'm just going to be totally honest. The first title of this was breaking down 100K in 90 days, and then I went into our Kajabi and realized it was $121,241 in 90 days. So that's what I'm going to be breaking down today, because I often see other leaders posting about numbers that seem absolutely insane to me to make in a month, in 3 months, in a year. And I'm always thinking, okay, but how did they actually do this, for real, without any BS, without, any jargon? How the hell did they create that? Because it just seemed depending on where I was at that time, depending on where you're at right now, those numbers just sound completely unreal, right? It sounds like something that's just so far away and so unachievable that it seems impossible. And so I want to break it down for you today so that, one, you can see how simple the system is that we've built up to create this, and also how it compounds over time. So if you've ever read that book, The One Thing or The Compound Effect, they really talk about how when you focus on one thing, when you focus on doing one thing really well, over time, you get extremely fucking good at it. And not just that, but the thing starts compounding. It works like, a momentum snowball. It starts picking up all these other things, maybe these other goals, other ideas, other visions, other creations that you're wanting to create, and it snowballs all of that into the thing that you're focusing on. And that's really what I find with a system like ours, creating a funnel like this, where you're focusing on one offer and then getting really good at speaking about that offer. You're getting really good at focusing on what makes people take action, what makes people move, what makes people whip out their credit card, what makes people feel something, what makes people feel like they're part of something, what makes people want to be part of something. And the way that you do that is by, focusing on one thing. And it doesn't have to be for your whole life. It doesn't have to be for 5 years. But I recommend at least, whatever you're going to create your main program around, whatever you want your first program to be around, I highly recommend committing to that for at least a year, because that'll give you enough time to launch it more than once, to have many different people go through it, and give you enough time to really get amazing feedback, both for yourself on what worked and what didn't work, but also from your clients on what was the most efficient way for them to move through this, what actually supported them the most, what was actually extra for them, what did they actually not need, what was overwhelming, what was too much, and what was actually too much versus what was perceived as too much. We don't figure those things out by just sitting and thinking about it over and over and trying to figure out in our heads without talking to anyone, without talking to clients, without talking to mentors, without talking to peers, to figure out, okay, I want to create this program, I want to create this thing, but I don't know how, or I don't know, there's so many different pieces that can go into it. And so long-winded way to say that's what we're diving into today. If you aren't familiar with the business that I run with my husband, it is called Jonathan White Lifestyle, also Sexual Kung Fu. The main program that we run is called Multi-Orgasmic Man, and that program at this point in time has had about 1,500 students go through it. And the very first time we launched it, in I believe it was October 2018, I'm not the one with the great memory on years. He's always I ask him when we did something and he immediately knows exactly what the date was. I think it was either October 2018 or 2019. So that was the first time we launched it. I believe we had around 28 people join. It was about a $15,000 launch, and it's all because of the way we set this system up. So that one program, Multi-Orgasmic Man, is the core thing that we've built this entire business around over the last 5 years. So the reason that we decided to start with this, okay, we're going to focus on one program that's going to go out to many people instead of focusing on one-on-one first, The reason for that is because when I first started my first freelance design and marketing business in 2016, I solely relied on one-on-one clients, and I realized it really freaking sucks to only receive income when I was directly working on projects for my clients or when I was on calls with them. If I wasn't directly giving my time to something, I wasn't getting paid. And that was something I thought I was getting away from by getting into freelance. And so when I met my now husband, and I suggested that he turn his absolute freaking obsession, which is Qigong, energy work, into a business, I knew that we would need to do it differently. I knew that both of us really wanted to travel a lot. Both of us really wanted to do the things we were obsessed with more. You know, I love baking, I love cooking, I love painting, I love traveling and just doing all that stuff. And he loves doing Qigong. He loves doing really long meditations. He loves being in nature, and so do I. We wanted the freedom to be able to actually say when we're working and when we're not, instead of our clients dictating when we would have free time and when we wouldn't. We didn't want to be stressed about client projects all the time. We didn't want to be having to sit on calls all day, every day with clients. Not because we're lazy, not because that's not supportive, not because we're stuck up or anything like that. It's just because, as one of my favorite teachers from high school, I actually ended up having her all 4 years. I think my last year I had her for like 4 or 5 classes. She always said, work smarter, not harder. And that has stuck with me. You know, I'm 30 years old now. The last time I would have heard her say that was when I was 18. So it's been at least 12 years. And I still think of her and think of that multiple times a day. Work smarter, not harder. And that is what I truly believe that funnels and creating a system like this does. It allows you to work smarter, not harder, so that one, you're able to help far more people, you're able to make more money, you're able to create a bigger impact, and also, like I mentioned, you're able to really create a life, a lifestyle, a schedule that nourishes you, that supports you, that allows you to completely take maternity time off if you want to, that allows you to just say screw it all and, you know, go lock yourself in a cabin for a month and write if that's what you want to do. A system that allows you to move across the world if you want to. A system that allows you to say, you know what, actually I do want to book a bunch of one-on-one clients right now, and I don't need to book a bunch of one-on-one clients. So it sounds fun to open up 2 days a week where I'm going to be fully on calls all day, because that sounds fun, because it's lighting me up, rather than from a place of like, I'm out of money, I need to do this, I'm struggling right now, I'm on a loop between, you know, having an abundance of income, having an abundance of one-on-ones, and then having all of those contracts end at the same time. And getting us off of that loop and into a place where every single thing that we create, whether it's a new offer, a new course, a new one-on-one program, a new retreat, you know, whatever it is, it's coming from a place of overflow, a place of this sounds like fun. I want to create this because in expressing myself through this creation, I'm doing something for my own purpose. I'm doing something for my own mission. I'm, you know, fulfilling part of the reason that I'm on this planet right now. So from day one, we set out to create an intentional as fuck funnel. One that felt really good, really ethical, really supportive, really fun, and actually supported the type of lifestyle we wanted to live. So obviously we wanted to travel as much as possible. Duh. What else do 20-something-year-olds want, right? And immediately after that first launch, that's exactly what we did. We were in a place at that time in Boise, Idaho, in downtown. We have very fond memories of living in that place. And it was a little, I think, 800 square foot apartment, little 1-bedroom in the historic district in the North End over there. And since we were on month to month, we had that launch in October. And we decided, okay, I think it was December 2nd, we're going to Australia. And so we did. I think it was only a week or two after that we booked our flights and started getting rid of stuff, organizing our life, getting ready to have open-ended international travel. And that's exactly what we did for 4 months. We were in Australia, we were in Bali. When we got back, good old beginning of 2020, we road tripped all around the US again for I think 4 or 5 months, maybe 6 months. we just did so much traveling and we really loved it. So, you know, it actually did allow us to live the life that we set out to do when we created it. So over the years, we've systematized that system. Can't think of a better word for that. We've systematized it even more. We've simplified it. We've handed things off to our incredible team, and we've continued to play with ways to bring even better results to our clients and make our system more efficient and work even better. So with all of that background in place, I'm going to dive in now to the specifics. If you're a visual person, I would totally recommend heading over to my Instagram now to look at my post. It's probably pinned at the top of my profile, or if you're listening to this way later than August 18th, 2023, you might have to scroll a little bit to find it, but it's a post where I'm talking about a breakdown of our $121,000 month. It's a reel. And, you know, because I like to repurpose things, I'm probably going to turn this into a carousel at some point too. So, from May 1st, 2023 to July 31st, 2023, this one system that I'm talking about, this one system brought in $121,241.50 while my in-laws were visiting us in North Carolina. They were here for a whole week. I hope that in just saying that, you understand that when family's visiting, no matter how harmonious and beautiful the relationship is, you know, it still creates a disturbance in your normal day-to-day life. It still creates a disturbance in what you would normally do, especially when you have a business that talks about tantra and sex and orgasms. And those in-laws are very religious. So, we were not working 24/7 that week that they were here. We were not recording things. Also, during that time, we traveled across the country again to visit family. We camped, we played, we swam, we spent time with family. I went to LA, he went to Seattle, we studied with our teachers. You know, we were living life. We were having deep conversations with our friends, with our family. We were learning about the crazy human experience and the crazy things that people go through, the crazy things that people choose to learn on this journey of life. We were able to be present for those conversations. We were able to really be with people. And that's the greatest gift that money has given me, to be honest, is to be present. To not have in the back of my mind, like, okay, I'm here with this person right now, but I'm worried about how I'm going to pay this bill tomorrow. Because I've been there too. And knowing that, like, okay, I'm traveling to this place right now, but I'm worried about how I'm going to pay for my next flight because my visa expires in a few days. And I don't have enough money to get out of the country yet. Like, I share this from experience. I've been there. I've experienced it. I know it fucking sucks. And it's hard. And it feels, when you're in it, it feels like there's no way out. And I just want to remind you that you're powerful as hell. There is a way out. And there's a simple, joyful, pleasurable way out. So, okay. Stop blabbing. Get into the money. Get into the dollars. So, if you haven't listened to, I think it was 2 episodes back where I'm talking about how our full funnel works, the whole breakdown of everything, that would be a really powerful one to listen to either before this one or after this one, because you'll have a more full picture of exactly like the literal breakdown of everything that we do. But I'm just going to dive into where all of that money came from over the last 3 months. And yeah, I might do a little bit of a breakdown afterwards of our full business model and what that looks like for you guys. So that main program that I've been talking about, Millionaire, we launch that 4 times a year, every January, April, July, and October. And that launch is fully automated at this point. Our team handles the maybe like 1 or 2 days worth of tasks that are still manual, that cannot be automated, that have to be done by a human. And every time we do that launch, we have both a waitlist price, a pay in full option, an 8-month payment plan option, and a 3-month payment plan option. I share that because it's going to make this breakdown make a lot more sense as I get into it. So in July, of course, we had that launch I just talked about. So everyone who joined from the Millionaire July waitlist, that brought in $23,716. Everyone who paid in full at the regular price, that brought in $26,022. Everyone who joined the 8-month payment plan for July, that brought in $4,116. And then everyone who joined the 3-month payment plan from July, that brought in a whopping $774. And now, I say that very, very jokingly because I believe that would have been 2 or 3 people on that 3-month payment plan. And I know that much can make a huge difference. I know that just having, if you had 3 people right now on a 3-month payment plan that was about $300 a month, how much of a difference would that make in your life? How much more calm in your nervous system would you feel if you even just had that one 3-month payment plan? I'm breaking that down because, that's very doable. It's not crazy. It's not a big, huge, scary, crazy number that you feel like you need a massive audience for. And by the way, we started all of this from zero, and we used 100% organic growth. We did not use ads, mostly because we're blocked from using ads on every single platform. We tried, but we got blocked every time because it's sexual content. But it's possible. So next, we've got a completely self-paced course. So that course that I just described, Multi-Orgasmic Man, it's a 12-week course. We've been running it for almost 5 years. Wow, October. So in about 2 months, that'll be 5 years, which, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we'll do something really fun for the anniversary of that. So we've been running that program for 5 years. For the grand majority of that, there's been one live group call every 2 weeks. And that is the only, live requirement, live thing on the schedule that we've had for the last 4 years. Again, that was an intentional choice. I want that to sink in for you of, wow, okay, maybe my clients don't actually need me 24/7. Maybe they don't actually need access to me as often as I think they do. And depending on what industry you're in, maybe they do need more access to you. But again, having your own boundaries around how frequently people get to receive your support and how frequently you're actually willing to give it and how frequently you actually can give that, I think is just really important to be aware of. So a different completely self-paced course called Male Sexual Mastery, which is just under $300 total. So during that time period, that brought in $9,029. Again, significant amount of people doing that. And this is all from either email funnels or what people find on YouTube, on our public YouTube channel, or on our Instagram. I think that's everything we're using at the moment. Oh, and podcasts. We have a podcast as well, which is literally just YouTube videos repurposed audio into a podcast. So nice and easy. So because I mentioned earlier that we do those launches 4 times a year, and we have an 8-month and a 3-month payment plan option, that means that these payment plans overlap. So even though I'm looking at May through July here, we have payment plans from our January group of students that joined Multi-Orgasmic Man. So those who are on the 8-month payment plan, that brought in $8,967 recurring. So that much is coming in month to month on autopilot. That's not because we're creating new programs. It's not because of anything like that. It's a program we created once that, of course, we update as needed, but we're not in there completely recreating the course every year or every 2 years or every 4 years. It's been recreated one time when it shifted from a 6-week course to a 12-week course. And before I continue here, I'm just going to throw in all my tangents because this is a podcast, and why the fuck not? I think there's something really powerful about creating something once and adding to it over time if that's what you genuinely feel like you want to do, but not trying to create the perfect program, because 1, that's impossible and you're never going to get there. You're going to just continue recreating it and recreating it and recreating it. And 2, it's so powerful for people to come in at any point in their journey and be able to see your growth, to see you as the leader, as the instructor, as the person that they're looking up to for the embodiment of the thing that they're wanting to achieve in their own life. It's so powerful for them to see you through that growth period. So there are still videos of my husband from the very first time he recorded this course. He looks like a baby. I think he was like 25, 26. But they're still in there. And we get feedback all the time from people saying like, wow, it's so powerful to feel like I'm actually moving through this journey with you. And like we move through, you know, the last 5 years in 12 weeks. And they're able to see the shifts and changes. So that's my little tangent on that. So then getting into the other layered payment, everybody who joined the April payment, 8-month payment plan, that brought in $7,203. Everyone who joined the 3-month payment plan in April, that brought in another $6,966. I hope that sharing this in this way, like you're seeing how this is all layering on top of one another. So it's not like we brought in $120,000 from one thing, one time, which that's an incredible art in itself. But it's like we're doing all these different things and they're all adding up. And it's not even that we're doing all of these different things, it's that over time, so we created one thing, and then we created another thing, and then we created another thing, and we plugged each of those things we created into this system. So I have a few more here. We have a masterclass, it's called Cosmic Orgasm, which obviously, you know, name things something that people are intrigued by and want to buy. That one brought in $7,131, and I believe we might have done a flash sale of that one. Oh, that one was new. That was a brand new program we had never offered before. I believe that came out in May or June. So that was the first time we offered that. So that was really exciting that obviously people loved it and were ready for it. We have a pelvic floor masterclass that brought in $3,476. By the way, this is just from people either seeing this from an email, on Instagram, on YouTube, on our website, in an email. I might have already said that, but you know, this isn't us having like one-on-one conversations with every single individual person. It's putting our content out there, allowing people who resonate to come to it, and then allowing them to opt themselves in. We have another masterclass called Primordial Qigong. That one brought in $582. I'll say another note, learn what people like and what they want and what they're willing to pay for, and what they really want a transformation around, that you can provide guidance on that transformation and, you know, give them that. We learned early on that Qigong isn't the thing that people are really obsessed with learning about, but sexual mastery is. And so people learn the energy work, they learn Qigong, they learn yoga, they learn, you know, healthy mindset, healthy movement through the lens of men's sexual health, men's sexual mastery. You know, we had to find the thing that people really like and bring them in through that. And it is genuine, it is authentic that, you know, the male sexual mastery is a massive part of all of this. And that's why it's for a specific person. So we'll get into that stuff another time. So another thing, we hosted a retreat in May, and the total that brought in was $16,883. To clarify, it brought in about $3,959 in profit. So that is the total that it brought in to cover the retreat space, the food, gifts, absolutely everything that we had for that event. And then I was very impressed and surprised to find this, but we still had some people who hadn't finished their October 2022 8-month payment plan for Multi-Orgasmic Man, so that brought in another $2,300. We have another self-paced program called SKF Workout, Sexual Kung Fu Workout, that brought in $1,950. We have a bundle, a masterclass bundle that bundles all 4 of our masterclasses that were from last year into one place for a pretty hefty discount. That brought in $1,776 total. We have an older program that I think might have been redone recently, but that one's called Qigong Mastery. One person bought it in the last 3 months. That brought in $40. And then finally, our Yoni Tantric Massage course, that brought in $5,564. And I believe we might have done a flash sale on that one too. So the final number I have for you here is our refunds. So like I mentioned, we brought in $121,241.50. Saying long numbers is hard. And the total number of refunds we had was $237. And again, I share that because, one, I want you to know that it's possible, to have just have an audience that has so much faith and trust in what you're doing, and for you to have so much faith and trust in what you're doing that you do not attract the wrong people. You do not attract the people who are going to purchase something and then cancel their credit card or ask for a refund or be an asshole, whatever. Like, of course, sometimes we attract these experiences because we need to grow, we need to learn, we need to do different things, but when you're really clear on what you're offering and you're allowing yourself to express that, you're not going to attract those people. So I'm just going to let that simmer in you for a minute. If you're looking at that Instagram post, let all the visuals soak in. Let's take a deep breath. That was a lot of numbers. Enjoy my neighbor mowing his lawn in the background. Okay, so to be honest, I'm just completely bored of funnels feeling like our hidden secret. Like, we're the only ones who figured this out. How to create funnels in a joyful way. How to create funnels that actually make life more fun. How to create a life of true freedom and joy and purpose, because so many of us start our business for that reason, but then we just become employees of our business again. And I want every single spiritual leader, including you and every single one of you here, I want all of you who have something to say, who has a gift to share with this world, who has art to share with this world, I want you to be so fully financially supported that you can also spend a majority of your time doing what actually lights you up instead of stressing over income. We've all heard that saying of, I didn't just come here to pay bills and die. Like, yeah, but so many people, even though they say that, they're still running in circles trying to pay bills, trying to figure out how to make enough money so that they get off this loop. And that's what I really, really, really want to support you with. I want money to feel calm and stable, and I want you to feel supported by it. I want you to get to a place where you only create new offers from the absolute pleasure and joy of bringing it to life, instead of any ounce of obligation or, oh fuck, it's time to make a new offer, or, my month ran out of money. And no shame. Again, I've been there. We've all been there. And so, this new offer I've been teasing to you guys for a hot minute is coming tomorrow. It's coming Saturday, August 19th. So keep your eyes peeled, keep your notifications on, or send me a message, leave a comment somewhere if you're wanting to hear about it first. I'm really, really excited to support you guys in this new offer that I'm creating. Just to give you a little sneak peek insight, it's for the spiritual entrepreneur, for the leader, regardless of what you've been doing, regardless of if you're a health coach or a physical therapist or a Reiki practitioner or a tarot reader or whatever it is that you do. If you're a spiritual entrepreneur who's been working with clients for at least a year, whether that's in person or online, and you're confident as fuck in your method, in your modality, in your system, in whatever it is that you do to help people have a transformation, if you're wanting to help more people, if you're wanting to expand outside of your city, and if you're wanting to create a funnel that allows you to sell to many people all at once, and you're ready to stop focusing solely on the fast cash of signing a bunch of last-minute one-on-one clients in a frenzy, again, there is no shame. I have been there. I think pretty much all of us have been there. Thank you, Wind. I really needed that. I really wanted my mic to just get a little airy for a minute, Then I want to hear from you. If any of that resonates, I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. If you feel like you're ready to create a digital course, you're ready to set up a funnel, you're ready to sell your offers on autopilot, again, this doesn't mean you take the human out. It doesn't mean that it's bland and boring and blah and automated and robotic. It means that you're fucking supported as hell financially, that you have clients who are obsessed with your offers, that you have people there supporting you that you're also supporting. They're actually in a healthy loop with clients and money and with your business. That's who I'm looking for. That's who I want to work with here. This is best for all my service providers out there, all you amazing humans doing incredible things, personal trainers, dancers. I'm really, really, really excited to see who gets accepted into this program, and it's just the best. It really feels like the best feeling. So, if you are participating in the scavenger hunt, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for hanging out with me for the last 30 minutes. If you have had me on double speed or triple or quadruple, whatever, I see you. I do the exact same thing. And your challenge for today, should you choose to accept it, is to write out all of the offers that you currently have. Whether you're doing things in person, whether you're doing things online, write out the current offers that you have. And really, that's all I want you to do for now. I just want you to write down everything that you have. Get it out of your mind, get it onto paper, get it onto your computer. I would really recommend paper, because when you see things written in your own handwriting, it's just way more powerful. And also, if it's on your computer, you can easily just close it away, it goes into your files and you never see it again. But if you have it written down on a piece of paper, we can actually come back to it again. Maybe we'll want to do that tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'm foreshadowing. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. So I want you to just write down all of your current offers. If you haven't yet started your business, I want you to write down all of the offers that you've been thinking about. And then the way that you will earn your points for this one is, again, either posting it to your story on Instagram and tagging me for double points, or sharing it in our Google, what is that called? Google Drive, Google Form. Sharing that in our Google Form. So I can't wait to see what all of your amazing offer suites currently look like. And maybe we'll be just kind of like zhuzhing those up tomorrow, looking at how we can put them into a nice, sexy little format. Maybe we'll be doing that. I don't know. I love you guys. If this episode was helpful, I would absolutely love if you could leave a review, if you could send me a message on Instagram. Let me know what was the most helpful. What was your favorite part? Do you resonate with my stories? I just love hearing from you and having conversations with you, so it makes my day whenever I hear from you. I love you, and I will see you in the next episode.